Disclaimer: this story is inspired by posts from Reddit's R Scary Stories and other horror experiences shared online. It has been adapted for entertainment and horror narration purposes. Some events may be fictionalized or dramatized. Tonight's story is about a security guard who thought his night shift would be just another boring job, but one night spent inside an abandoned amusement park would change his life forever. The lights were off, the arcade was empty, and there was one warning he should never have ignored. If you hear coins dropping in the arcade, don't go check it out. In August 2025, I graduated from Ohio State University. Desperate for a temporary job to help pay off my student loans, I came across an ad on Craigslist. They were looking for a night shift security guard for a closed amusement park undergoing renovations. The place was called Fantasialand, located on the foggy outskirts of Sandusky, right on the shores of Lake Erie. The park felt like a relic from the 1990s. It had a bowling alley, a massive mirror maze, and a vintage arcade hall. The pay was incredible, $35 an hour. The job sounded simple enough: stay on site from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. and make sure no teenagers or trespassers broke in. On my very first night, the supervisor met me at the gate. He was a strange, slightly creepy old man named Arthur. He handed me a heavy ring of keys, a two-way radio, and a flashlight. Before leaving, he said something that felt oddly unsettling. Looking me straight in the eye, he said, "If you hear coins dropping in the arcade, don't go check it out. Just stay in your guard shack." I assumed he was joking, just trying to scare the new guy. Arthur locked the main gate from the outside and drove away. The silence that followed was unbearable. Every light in the park was off, except for the faint green glow of emergency exit signs, casting twisted shadows across the walls. At exactly 1 a.m., I began my first patrol. I walked past old, faded plastic mascots that looked far too human in the darkness, as if they were watching my every move. I stepped into the arcade hall, and without any warning, an old racing arcade cabin in the corner suddenly powered on by itself. Loud 16-bit music blasted through the room. The screen flickered to life, flooding the darkness with an eerie neon glow. I froze. Slowly, I approached it, keeping my flashlight fixed on the seat. It was an old racing game. Gathering my courage, I looked at the high scores leaderboard, and what I saw made my heart stop. At the very top was my full legal name, D-A-V-I-D. Beside it was a score. The score was my exact date of birth, followed by today's date. Fear surged through my body like poison. I stepped back, trying to convince myself that this was some twisted prank Arthur had set up. I was about to head back toward the security office when I heard it. The sound Arthur had warned me about, a coin dropping into another machine. A moment later came the faint sound of a child's laughter echoing from the hallway leading to the mirror maze. I swung my flashlight toward the corridor. At the far end stood a silhouette. It looked like a child, or perhaps someone standing hunched over. Then it ran into the maze. My voice trembled as I shouted, "The park is closed. Leave now or I'm calling the police." No response. I had to follow. It was my job. I stepped into the mirror maze. It was an endless labyrinth of towering mirrors.
It was an endless labyrinth of towering mirrors. With every step, my flashlight reflected thousands of times in every direction, making me dizzy. Then I heard it, bare feet running, behind me, to my right, to my left. The mirrors scattered the sound everywhere. I stopped. The footsteps stopped instantly. I looked into the mirror directly ahead of me. I could see my own reflection, but something was wrong. Terribly wrong. Standing directly behind my reflection was a man, a small, withered man. He wore a filthy clown costume. His face was covered in cracked white paint, and a horrific scar stretched from the corner of his mouth all the way to his ear. I spun around. The hallway was empty. Nothing. Slowly, I turned back toward the mirror. The clown was still there, standing right behind me. He slowly raised his hand. In it was a massive pair of iron shears. Then he leaned toward my ear, and at that exact moment, I felt warm breath against my real ear. A voice whispered, "The mirror never lies. It just shows the truth a little late." I screamed and smashed my flashlight into the mirror with all my strength. The glass exploded into thousands of pieces. I ran through the maze like a madman, crashing into walls, cutting my face and hands on shattered glass. Finally, I found the emergency exit and burst outside. A violent storm raged overhead. The wind howled through the empty park. I sprinted toward my Jeep in the parking lot. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely unlock the door. I jumped inside and slammed it shut. My chest heaved for air, tears mixed with rainwater on my face. I started the engine and sped toward the front gate. Then my headlights illuminated the entrance. My heart stopped. The gate was chained shut from the outside with a massive padlock. I was trapped. I grabbed the radio and shouted, "Arthur, answer me. Someone's here. I'm trapped." Nothing but static answered. Then came that same faint laughter. A moment later, Arthur's voice emerged from the radio, but he wasn't speaking to me. He was crying, begging, "David, don't look. Don't look in the rearview mirror. He's sitting." The transmission suddenly cut off. Every muscle in my body froze. My instincts screamed at me not to look, but my eyes slowly drifted upward, toward the rearview mirror. And there, sitting in the back seat of my Jeep, was the clown. Even though the vehicle had been empty when I got in, he was wearing his seatbelt, politely. In his hand was Arthur's radio. Fresh blood dripped from it, and he stared directly into my eyes through the mirror. That same hollow, insane grin stretched across his face. Before I could reach for the door handle, his thin hand shot forward from the darkness and pressed the central lock button. Click. Every door locked. Slowly he leaned closer. His rotten breath washed over the back of my neck. Then, in a calm voice, he whispered, "Now, let's play your racing game."
Months have passed since that night. The Ohio State Police are still searching for my missing Jeep and for Arthur, who vanished without a trace. As for me, they found me wandering through the woods near the lake 2 days later. I was completely catatonic, unable to speak. My body was covered in deep circular cuts, as though someone had carved them into my skin with a razor. But that's not the worst part. The real horror is what keeps me trapped in a living nightmare. Every time I look into a reflective surface, a mirror, a window, even a glass of water, I don't see my own face anymore. I see his, smiling from the inside, waiting patiently for the moment he can come back out. And that's where tonight's story comes to an end. If you enjoyed this chilling tale, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another scary story. Let me know down in the comments, what would you have done if you heard those coins dropping in the arcade? Would you have ignored it or gone to investigate? And one final question before you go. The next time you look into a mirror late at night and something about your reflection feels just a little off, would you keep looking? Thank you for listening. Until next time, keep the lights on, stay safe, and remember, some things are far more terrifying when they're staring back at you. Good night, and sweet dreams.